Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany if we've never met before, and if we have, welcome back. Today we're doing a reading vlog. So I pretty much know where I want this vlog to go. We'll see if that ends up happening. But I do have family in town, which means I'm gonna be out and about. And typically when that happens, I tend to stick to my TBR because it is a planned effort to get everything in. So I wanna run down the books I will absolutely get to. The first is Face Down Fridays by Cheryl Green. This title is an auto-click qualifier for me, and I found it from Charles from Books on Stereo. I mean, he was using all of the big words: BDSM, spicy, black love. Like, I'm here for it and I'm ready to try it. Hopefully I can give you more of the dynamics and the setup once I've gotten into it. The next book I know I want to read is Contradictions by Ampersand. This is a Hermione fanfic that my rec queen, Jen from the Book Refuge, has been gushing about. So I have to pick it up, especially after reading Manacled. I need more Hermione fanfic. And this is supposed to be about how Hermione is led to a BDSM club as a way to remedy the intimacy issues she's been having, and how they pair her with Draco for her dom. I'm not sure how this happens, but I'm here for it. It's giving BDSM as healing vibes, and you know, I don't see relinquishing control being easy for Hermione, so I'm already anticipating devouring the inevitable vulnerability that I suspect will be hard won. So I'm dying to pick this up. In fact, I think this is the one I'm most excited about. The next book I know I'm gonna read because it's releasing is Ava Leigh's Good Girl's Guide to Rakes. This is supposed to be a brother's best friend, sexy deal between a lady who's set to be wed, who wants to just revel in life and her freedom before it's lost, and a rake that needs her connections of respectability in order to marry and save his inheritance. All I know is that I saw a vlog where Crystal read the arc and I trust her taste. So we're going with it. And I do love Ava Leigh. And then lastly, I will probably start Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City in this vlog. I told myself that I wasn't gonna get FOMO like I did last year with Akatar, and I was wrong, okay? Because I'm a hoe for being in the know. I need to form my own opinion about things, so it's happening. I know I'm not gonna finish it in this vlog, but I'm definitely gonna start it. I'm committed to it. It's happening. So I'm excited to get to all of these reads, and I'm excited to see my dad. I will bring you along to join us on whatever we end up doing, and I will be back when I have thoughts. I'm already obsessed with contradictions, okay? I'm not even that far in, and the praise kink is top tier. It's top tier. It's perfection. It makes me so giddy, and I need to like calm down so I can give you an update on Face on Fridays because I finished that. Let's start there. Jade is the owner of First Class Fantasies. She has a little spicy club, and I love how confident she is in her own skin, how bold and how empowered she is in her own sensuality, and the chemistry between her and Nash is electric. He is a silent investor into her business, which has led to them writing to each other back and forth for 15 years. I'm talking pen paling edging at its finest. And this opens with him dropping into her club unannounced. She doesn't know his identity, which is a problem because this is a membership club, which she makes clear. But I just love how he devours her in his mind. Within his POV, it's luscious. Every bit of her he commits to memory. Selfishly so, because before he discloses who he actually is and the fact that he aims to stop her next business venture, he gets a taste, okay? And Nash is very dominant, which she claps back at, but he's already set on the fact that Jade is it for him. He's had 10 years of written foreplay to get to know her and watch her grow into the woman that she is today from the sidelines. So making a sexy deal in order to claim what he wants is separate from their business. And I enjoyed the fact that it's the same for Jade too. She's the type of woman where, I mean, getting her physical needs and assuaging the chemistry between them has nothing to do with business, which means she's not gonna cower before him and just give him what he wants financially because they made a sexy arrangement for 7 days, no strings attached. And this just turns into them falling through like emotional and sexual vulnerability. There's a lot of reveals to his past that are linked to her, and I enjoyed that. The one thing I did not like about this book is the negotiation scene to set up their arrangement, because the only rule is that there are no rules, and I completely was taken out of the story. I will never find that sexy. Like, it bothers me. Like, maybe I'm being a killjoy, but it's like irresponsible. It's unrealistic. And you know what I think bothers me about it is that at the core of it, it feels dishonest because everybody has hard limits. And I always find it sensual and a window into the characterization when we get those hard limits. And I just think it's the emotional foreplay and vulnerability of it all, placing a character in a position to have to trust that this partner is going to take care of them and not cross those boundaries. And those boundaries are a blueprint for care. So like, that's what I get into. That's what I find sexy, the meat of unpacking those hard limits. So no strings attached is never gonna be sexy for me. And it doesn't make sense that like the owner of a sex club would be okay with that. So like I said, that took me out of the story. But I still rated this 4 stars. I'm still gonna continue with the series because I met his brothers in this, and I guess this family is mentioned in other books as well as their like criminal ties. So I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole. I did enjoy it, just that element I did not. And I think I apologize if I'm in a different position. My camera died in the middle of a thought, and I can't even like be upset about it because like when you see me doing like reading B-roll, I just let the camera go, and my marker for editing is when I'm highlighting because I want to get my authentic reaction to the quotes. But I should probably rethink my process, which you're not here to hear about. So I think I was talking about the fact that because of the book I'm reading right now, that element of hard limits not being present in the last one just makes me appreciate this all the more, because I do think that the way that this is set up serves as an entry point if you've never read BDSM before, because we know Hermione does her research. It's almost like you're learning along with her, and Draco is in a great position to direct her since he's a great dom. I mean, sidebar, one of his hard limits is humiliation, which further proves my point, because even before getting the praise, that telegraphs, to me at least, that he isn't down with any form of degradation when it comes to his dom style, okay? It's just giving me affirmation zaddy vibes, and I'm just here for it. It just makes me so freaking giddy. Like, I mean, like teenage me giddy when Casper turned into Devon Sawa at the end of the movie. If you know, you know. That does kind of explain a lot, but I'm sorry. Hermione and her intimacy issues lead to her turning this problem into an experiment. We love to see it. And that leads her to the Scarlet Order, I believe, which is a BDSM club. And they give her extensive questionnaires that make her feel more comfortable in order to pair her with the right partner. And we start this out on the day that she goes to this initial meeting. She's glamored herself in order to conceal her identity, and when she arrives, she gets the direction to be blindfolded. This is really a tool to get her focused and settled into her own body as they discuss her needs and both of their boundaries. And this leads to some steam that gives her an orgasm, which drops the glamour. Draco recognizes her, takes off the blindfold, and she's staring into the face of her enemy that just made her come, which makes her apparate out of there. She's angry, she's shook, and she leaves despite his protests. And it's his need as a good dom to finish the scene out with aftercare that allows her to take that first initial step of vulnerability by requesting to see him again. And it's just like bottled up frenzy between them. I love how he challenges her to cease questioning as a means of protection and to trust her own desires, which are his commands that enable her to choose pleasure, because it isn't just about sex. Part of the reason why I'm obsessed with Draco's praise is that for Hermione as a character, she's such a martyr for everyone. She's so caught up in this like people-pleasing perfection, and everybody is so used to her contributions that they take her for granted. And I would even argue, not that this is like noted on the page, I'm just musing here, but it feels like she places conditions on her value by being self-sacrificing. It's that question of like, would they care if she didn't do as much? So when Draco gives her his, "You're my good little witch, aren't you?" It's a praise that feels like it hits that touchstone for her, and it's given just for her being as opposed to doing, and I just love it. It's so freaking good. I'm just like lost in this. I'm gonna continue reading, and I'll probably be back to finish up my final thoughts on this. So this isn't like a 40-minute reading vlog. So I'll see you when I have more thoughts. Bye. I really love this. I did. This is a 5-star read for me, and I'm a Ravenclaw, but I'm just gonna change the house colors before I continue. Much better. I mean, similar to Manacled, but in a very different way, obviously. I loved how the magic just recasts everything. The way that he wooed her, the way that they arranged to meet up by flown letter, the way that he binds her. I loved those elements. And I also thoroughly enjoyed how Draco helps Hermione see that her self-sacrificing is tied to her ego. He wants her to admit that her meddling and throwing herself into these perilous situations is really her just saying, I know best. And it was really fun to see Hermione be placed in a position to have to consider Draco in their relationship when it came to her probing. And I also liked that it could have been seen as a betrayal, some of the secrets that she's harboring and holding, but it's also thankful that she does do this. The meat in that is really satisfying because it isn't a black and white situation, but the romance in this is just so sensual and insatiable. I just love how they get caught up in one another, just lost. And it just like compels Hermione to be vulnerable and take the risk with him and with getting caught. There's a very spicy and sexy scene that has to do with that I loved. But I'm kind of sad that it's over. Like, I need more Hermione fanfic. I'm trying to refrain from picking it up now. I already have like a couple recs from Jen that I want to get to, but I'm gonna stick to my TBR. Like I said, like I forecast, we're gonna make this a self-fulfilling prophecy and not do that. So the next book that I'm gonna read is The Good Girl's Guide to Rakes by Ava Leigh, and I'll be back when I have thoughts on that. Bye. I finished The Good Girl's Guide to Rakes. I'm sorry I didn't pop in sooner. I had like a quick trip to California and I got caught up in planning for that, but I'm back now and I have thoughts. This opens with Kieran and his interference on his sister's wedding, which results in his parents giving him an ultimatum to marry a respectable lady or lose his inheritance. And what he does is really out of concern and love for his best friend and sister. He doesn't want to see them have the same fate of his parents. Trapped in a loveless marriage of duty, which will now be his future. And he needs Celeste's help to do it. He needs her connections for respectable prospects. And Celeste just so happens to be his best friend's little sister with a spotless reputation that her father painstakingly manages because they don't come from wealth. Her father built their fortune, and that's placed Celeste in a position to be her family's sole savior socially. And she plays her part, but her heart just isn't in it. She has dreams beyond getting married and fussing about what to wear at the next ball, which I really like how Ava Leigh has these strong heroines that aim to chart a different path despite how society aims to bind them. I love when she does that, how she does that. And in this book, Celeste is being forced to marry, which means there's a time clock on her living life to the fullest and making her own decisions before they're taken from her. So when she enters into this deal with Kieran, in exchange, she wants him to take her into the scenes of the underbelly of society that he frequents so much. And I really enjoyed as he's taking her along, he gets to see the woman behind the mask that she wears for everyone else, and her too, in a different way because she's harbored a crush for him for so long. It's almost like she's getting confirmation on the man behind the debauchery. And one of my favorite scenes in this, and another aspect too, is how Kieran really respects her choices. Whenever he takes her somewhere, he's very adamant about her not having to do anything that she doesn't want to do. And I love the scene where she puts her foot down, okay? Because this is a slow burn. And she basically tells him that what she wants is him. It's like, this is my body, but can you touch it already? Like, let's go. And I just loved that. I loved that. That scene is, yes, very steamy, but it's also revealing and troublesome for their temporary arrangement. And it just leads to, there's a quote that I really enjoy in this that I was gonna save for my favorite quotes series, but I think I'm just gonna read it because I think it sums up really well how, although words are very abundant, they're also finite and limited when it comes to explaining the experience of love. So let me get that. I don't even have my Kindle in here. This is so bad. I'll be right back. Okay, I found it. Now, Kieran's brother is asking him, how does it feel to care about something? And he goes on to talk about how it's like developing a new sense. And I love when he says this. There's poetry, of course, Kieran murmured, which abounds with descriptions of emotions. Words, though, are sharp, delineated things. They only hint at something so profound as to exist outside of language, beyond careful construction. You can very well say something pretty and evocative about living to see a smile bloom on someone's face. But until you actually experienced the answering bloom of light in your own chest when you do behold that smile, a poem's nothing more than empty syllables. Oh, I love that because he is a poet and it's almost like he's saying his work thus far has been meaningless. Because of Celeste, it's taken on a new life and shape. I just like where he arrives in this. I also appreciate something within the third act, okay? Because Celeste does something that I'm always screaming at heroines to do, and it doesn't fix everything. but it actually places him in a position to be the hero. And I was just like, finally, thank you, Ava. So I appreciated that. I had fun with this read. Again, I'm rating this 4 stars, and I think before closing out this vlog, I'm gonna start Crescent City. I got the audiobook, I wanna tab it up, so I will be back when I have thoughts on that. This is an awkward angle, and I just don't care. I'm sorry. I was noting from the beginning until this catastrophic part about how, say what you want about Sarah J. Maas, but I think that she writes compelling friendships. I love how she highlights those gleeful moments that telegraph what's so meaningful between characters, and even characters that are quickly on the page, like Fury in this. I mean, they're just like so rich and alive, and I was loving that. I can't believe what just happened. Like, I knew something was gonna happen. You know, I haven't been spoiled for this book, but at the same time, I'm not going in completely blind because of the next one. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm gonna say at this point. But for her to gut punch me with what just happened, like, are you kidding me? I loved Danica's character, and just this, like, commitment that they had to do life together, no matter how long it was for Bryce, because she is half fae. I like how adult this is. I like that Bryce is messy. And I am, you know, sifting through a lot of details on these Bible thin pages, okay? But I'm so glad that I picked this up. I'm just shook. I am shook at what just happened. I am heartbroken. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm glad that I picked this series up. I'm definitely not gonna finish it in this video. I just, like, had to say something. Like, the one element that I was, like, noting that she was building, and I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. She just slices down. So, I don't really know. I'm processing. I'm gonna continue reading, and this one will be in my next vlog. I am going to close it out here. There's no way I'm going to finish this book. I want to thank you for joining me. Please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next. Bye.